man, it's one of those things where I can have a 10-hour conversation with you, Noble, and it could be one thing within that 10 hours that the creator would God would just he will personify it, magnify it.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like, hey, knucklehead, I want you to get that right there.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. And with every encounter, every class, every lesson, I get that wink from God at some point. At some point. So
Man.
gratitude, man, to everything that you're building, and again, man, I appreciate it for imparting into me. Again, I greatly appreciate it.
All I can say is gratitude, Rez. Like honestly, like all I have is gratitude. You know, let me grab one thing before we can get started. Because one of my guys not here, so I'm a multitask today. But I don't have no problem with that.
I'm still getting set up. You're still on the clock, but I'm getting set up right now.
But gratitude, man. Like that all like we say, gratitude for our time and our will too. You know?
Yes, sir.
Because it's a will. You know?
No, I got a confession.
Yes, sir.
So, God bless, Allah bless Malik, man. I love that guy.
Who that?
So, Malik.
Oh, yes, sir.
He hoped me out. I say hoped me out the other week, and I said, hey man, so I ain't want to ask this during the class. I'm like, so what? Do I need to go to the Social Security office to add the suffix to my name? Cause I was like, I don't know what did y'all do? Did y'all go to the Social Security office or what did y'all do?
Mm-hmm.
And you asked me, man, my title, and I was like, I didn't want to just say it without actually. I'm like, I need to go get the government document that showed it.
Mm-hmm.
And the noble was like, man, you proclaimed it. What are you talking about? I'm like, so man, it's such the knowledge is such a big deal to me. It means a lot to me. So when y'all say have the title of Bay and L, I'm pretty sure they mean it. I go to some kind of go to one of the government buildings downtown or something.
And see, and you know what? That's good. We have these open conversations before, because that's some of the misnotions. Even though you do annex, like when I talk about the Resolution 75, it's your right. That's our national name. That's connected us to freedom. So yes, you annex your Bay and your L to your name when you're ready. You don't have to make no special appointment. When it's time for you to renew your license or whenever you want to, you annex your Bay or your L to your name. That's your suffix. What suffix? Your religious suffix. And I be saying, when I say religious suffix, I tell people that because I know how to use words, how to navigate.
But
So
it's those little intricate things that you have
yes,
to get it all the way out to me, man.
yes. That's why when everybody asks me, or when people get caught up, when people have them paying money for this, and I said, but you missing it. When I say proclaim, declare, and have due process, that's something that you do yourself. Because the laws tell you, Noble Rez, Declaration of Human Rights, Article 15. Everyone have a right of a nationality and a right to change it. No one will be arbitrarily denied of a nationality and a right to change it. And to claim a child replaces the birth certificate. See, that's law. Resolution 75, annexing your L, your Bay, your Ali. See, this connection you your national freedom. But see, people get caught up talking about I'm a national. I say, if you're a national, that means you have allegiance with another a country or whatever. And so when more, they just get mad. And I say, no, I'm a Moorish American. I said, listen clearly. What is my nationality? Moorish American. What is my race? I'm agreeing to Asiatic. I understand it was a name before it was Eurasia. I understand this. I'm a scientist. I'm a historian. But I can agree to things. If we're going to agree as a people, you know what I mean? What's my status? My status is free white. See, this is law. When I talk about your SF 181 form, I'm not making things up, Brother Rez.
Yes, sir.
And so when you get people talking about their nationality and spirituality is not relevant, well, how are you a complete fifth? There's no other way. See, Brother Rez, pertaining to law, there's no other way to be a complete fifth without your nationality and your spirituality. This is law. And the religious laws trump everything. I keep telling people, you worried about all this. Brother Rez, let me ask you a simple question. Do you think the Mormon ever worry about getting a shot or dealing with anything that deal with the government? Yes or no?
No, no.
Okay. Why?
Because there are religious rights.
You dang all right. Their religious rights trump all that. They religious right trump just like my Amish people. They rights trump all. They religious rights trump all that. Just like mine as a tribal leader, it trumps all that. My brother in Vegas, Dale, he was like, "Hey man, you know what's going on?" He was like, "I'm under the tribe." I'm like, "Yes, this is law. They can ask me, they can subpoena me. Yes, I'm a tribal leader. Yes, that go against our religious rights."
Right.
I mean, if I wasn't a tribal leader, I wouldn't be able to go. I'm from Flint, Michigan, Brother Rez. I go to the Thumb Correctional Facilities. I go to all prisons. I try to tell brothers, don't you know more science is a spirituality or AKA religion on prison books? Is it chic? Yeah. I go in there as a Moor.
Yeah.
So it's when I talk about this more science, Brother Rez, all I'm here to do is bring us together and show us who we really are in religion, in history, in law, and in mathematics. That's my obligation as a teacher, as a sheik. Even Brother Rez, when I talk about science and scholarship, a sheik, an educator is supposed to lead and guide. Man, let me go to when I talk about parable, symbology, and analogy. Can somebody read Matthew chapter 13 for me? Verse 13 and 14. Somebody get that for me real fast before we get into the teaching. Because see, you don't get rid of nothing that's used for teachings. Can somebody please get that for me? If we got time, if you got your smartphone, anything, can Brother Maso, Solomon, one of you, my nobles, Brother Rez, can you get your noble? Can you get your sheep? Matthew chapter 13, verse 13. See, I have fun with this, man. Like, I don't need no script because the divine comes first.
I got you, Noble.
Yes, sir.
Oh, these red letters too. Therefore speak I to them in parables.
Huh? Wait, whoa. Don't go too fast, Rez. Don't go too fast. Say what you just said again.
Therefore speak I to them in parables.
Wow. So do you know what a parable is?
Yes,
I hope they do. Proceed, Noble.
because they see not.
Because what?
They see not.
Keep going.
And hearing, they hear not.
Read 14.
Neither do they understand.
Huh?
And in them is fulfilled the prophecy of Isaiah, which saith, by hearing ye shall hear, and shall not understand, and seeing ye shall see, and shall not perceive. This looks familiar. For this people's heart is waxed gross, and their ears are dull of hearing, and their eyes they have closed. Least anytime they should see with their eyes, and hear with their ears, and shall understand with their heart, and should be converted, and I should heal them. Go back, slow down. And should be what? And should be converted.
And should be what, Noble?
Converted.
Do you understand what I'm saying? So as we're teaching, when this scripture tells you, because this is talking to the children of Israel, It says when an adapt is coming, you should be converted. By what? The teachings of your brother right then, in a moment, in a twinkling of an eye. Huh?
Absolutely.
Proceed, Noble.
But blessed are your eyes, for they see, and your ears, for they hear. For verily I say unto you, that many prophets and righteous men have desired to see those things that which ye see, and ye have not seen them, and to hear those things which ye hear, and have not heard them. Hear ye therefore the parable of the sower. When any of one hears the word of the kingdom, and understandeth it not, then cometh the wicked one, and catcheth away which was sown in his heart. This is he which receiveth seed by the wayside. But he that receiveth the seed into stony places, the same is the he that heareth the word, and Anna with joy receiveth it, yet have not root in himself, no depth, but dureth for a while. For when tribulation or persecution ariseth because of the word, by he is offended. He also that received the seed among the thorns is he that heareth the word, and the care of this world, and the deceitfulness of riches choke the word, and he becometh unfruitful. But he that received the seed into the good ground is he that heareth the word, and understandeth it, which also beareth fruit, and bringeth forth, some an 100-fold, some 60, some 30.
So nobles, that's the scripture I gave the brother that thought when he came with the religious thing, when I said, I hear you, Noble. You hear me, Brother Rez? I told him, I said, I hear you. But let me remove all your madness, and let me remove all your anger. Let me give you some joy. You see, and when you can come to a brother with love, and I say, I'm gonna show you, I'm gonna give you some light.
Yeah.
We illuminate things, and that's what this is about. That's what all these teachings is about, Brother Rez. This isn't about anyone else or trying to tell someone else's story. This is about telling your beautiful story. This is about understanding who you are. This is about a resurrection.
Islam.
And knowledge of truth is mankind's highest attainment. We shall know the truth, and the truth will make us all free. And all evidence, nobles, points towards the fact that had the truth been taught, there would have been no need for that great statement to be recorded in literature, especially the Bible. You see, it wouldn't be no reason for these statements. Why? If the truth was taught, we would have to say the truth would make you free. Why? Because we would have been built on the truth. You see? And so when I bring things back to our remembrance, I'm going back to a place of academia. I'm going back to a place of mathematical equations. When I talk about the category of astrology and global geography and the history of the Moorish nation. See, I'm familiar with all these things. You should be. That's what I'm educating us about. And what's been going on to miseducate us for years. When we eloquently can speak on the keynote of wisdom, nobles. When you understand the context, when I talk about the clock of destiny, when I tell nobles, everybody hide things for you and try to rewrite things. I have the originals. These are the keys. You should want these. This is volume 1 of Clock of Destiny. How can you study if you don't have the manuscripts to study from? If I tell you to study, 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 and our prophet tell you to study, 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 and I say we have manuscripts and we have teachings, and I'm just talking, and you never be able to touch them. You never be able to smell it. You never be able to feel these teachings, and then have someone eloquently explain it and conjure up the rhythm and the vibrations. That's the importance of it. You know? And to understand this wisdom, you have to lay aside what you have been taught to believe or your belief system, except mathematics. I tell everybody that's dealing with me, you should throw away everything that you're dealing with me except mathematics. And as a result, you will be guided by common reason rather than by traditional emotional belief. And you got to understand the fact that both Muslims and Christ teachers have a monopoly on the mystic religious superstition, but not on mathematics. The science of geometry involving the 12 signs of the zodiac, the universal law, is Islam. You see, and then you must be able to live this life. It's not just me talking. I keep telling y'all my life is a mathematical equation. I don't work out every day and grind because it's hard. The Christ within have to live in a functioning a temple. The Christ within have to live in a function temple. You, just like when me and my Noble was talking the other day about starting businesses. He said the difference from you and other people, Noble, is you don't stop. He said a lot of us are starting 2 weeks, we'll quit. And you keep going and keep going and keep going, and then understand why your shoes is heavy. I'm telling you, man, because it's a lifestyle. You got to want this life like you want to breathe, like you want to eat. It's no competition. It's perfection. It's a vibration. It's different. It's different from me. How you going to talk about the fire and never been through the fire? How? There's no way. How I'm going to talk about analogy, symbology, and parables and don't know how to break the symbology and parable and analogy down and don't know how to interpret the dream world? And we think everything is fairy tale and games because you're being played by charlatans. A Messiah and a prophet is one in the flesh that live a real life. That's anointed. That's a map. The difference between astrology and astronomy is that astrology treats the human characteristics, the talent, the action, and the reaction, sociology, economics, and global geography, or space and time. But then when we talk about astronomy, is that so-called priest, that so-called pope, that bishop, that rabbi, that preacher, the duke, the duchess, the queen, the Anglo-Saxon, the lower code of the Christ world, that promulgates the myth, the culture of heaven in the sky and hell below after death. See, only an adept can speak like this. This is no play. This is the stuff that saves your life. I'm telling you. This is your obligation. I was just talking about man-made knowledge and the God-anointed wisdom. It's a difference. When you talk about the Christian astrologers, they are, we call the stargazers, who go by the heaven by way of expensive telescopes to promulgate that which they imagine live in planets like Mars, Saturn, Pluto, Jupiter, the moon, and Venus. Such philosophy definitely cannot help solve our economic and social problems. That's why I don't talk about an issue. I give solutions. What's the solution over our education? Build our own educational house. We Moors. We have our religious right. I'm already set up legally and lawfully to do this. All we need is the people. We have the government power to do exactly what I'm saying. We have land. We have a academia. We have a curriculum for male, women, and children. I mean, we have things to bring people back into who they are. Islam, nobles?
Islam.
And the powers of the moon and the sun dwell in the women. See, you will hear all these religious brothers talk about the woman. Oh, the woman is not God. And I say, noble, listen, like, you got to get out of that hate and get out of that crazy stuff. Like, okay, you a God, create life. Do you hear me, Maso? You a God and you all this. Let me see you create yourself in 9 months. Let me see you do that.
You're not going to be able to do it.
I was just about to say, their ass can't do it.
And so, when we come with this madness, we are the gods, the man and the woman that can come together in 9 months and create life. The seed has to implant in the earth to create life. It takes both. It takes that synchronicity. It takes that unity. It takes that Trinity. It takes that Immaculate Conception. Islam?
Islam.
See, these are facts. The real moon and sun are under our feet, which is the earth, the fire, the earth, the air, the river. We all can agree. If those are gone, we gone. And the powers of the moon and sun dwell in what? The woman. I always say the woman is Maya, the garden that produces food and life. We got to get outside ourselves with the religious dogma and with the hate towards the woman. That is asinine. I mean, you talk about heaven, and you could go into heaven every night. Y'all don't hear me? See, y'all don't hear me. You going outside of what's heaven. And you can draw your own conclusion as to why astrology and astronomy conflict. Astrology erases all beliefs and opinions of superstition, confusion, religious mystery, false fear, and idol or image worship. Astrology has always involved this universal simple fact, namely women and grown sons. Uh-oh, here we go, talk about that mixing. Uh-oh, in the course of 1 second, can observe the moon, the sun, the stars, the earth, and themselves, my nobles, without employing a damn telescope. Therefore, women and grown sons compromise the supreme manifestation of the whole of creation, space and time, which need no doctrine of religious mystery, no fear and superstition to influence them to employ that which is righteous or which is right and manufactual. Because the science of astrology, my nobles, the woman, the suns, the earth, the water, the air, the heat, and food constitute the great force of this great creation. Islam, and often referred to in science as the electromagnetic, the current and voltage or atomic energy. I relate that to our finances. I'm telling you, it's electric, it's atomic energy when we use it in a right manifestation. You got to understand whatever catchphrase that you may use, that the human body and the mind and the earth contain all elements of nature. We are what we eat, drink, inhale, and exhale. Therefore, my nobles, all energy generates from our stomach. That's why when you can look at a man's stomach and be like, oh, I tell y'all, Morris, I'm not hating, I'm not judging, I'm just looking at the body. And the body gonna tell me everything I need to know, especially starting with the gut. Because our stomach and mind and earth, I'm telling you, we, the human family, are the only supreme moving planets or heavenly bodies. Objects do not come to us. We go to all objects by way of walking, riding, flying, sailing, observation, mathematics, vibration of sound and signal. Did y'all understand what I just said, nobles? Come on, think about this. I'm giving you an introduction to supreme wisdom. Our code of facts, perfection, and the guide of practical wisdom. Compromise. When I say we do things on the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, 0. 0 is a cipher. The 3, 6, the 9, the 12. The universal standard rule of measurement and the letters of the alphabet. Come on. Astrology is the code of the Moorish nation, our forefathers of the hemisphere, who founded the universal order of Islam 1,367 years ago from the teachings and re-educated the confused human family, thereby establishing the great civilization that the world has ever known, the civilization in which we now live, nobles. The 0, the 1 through 9 through 0, the 3, 6, 9, and the 12, the 60 seconds of the minute, the 60 minutes of the hour nobles, and also the letters of the Arabic alphabet, all of which comprise the culture of the Moors, our forefathers of the Muslim world, who are often referred to in the Christian literature as Mohammedans or heathens. And see, when we talk about Roman numeral letters, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then the X across the 10, and the Latin or the Spanish language comprise the Christian code of which was born out of our Moorish forefathers' code. See, you can't deny what I'm saying. What I'm telling you is in the Library of Congress. In South America, aka Patagonia, known today as Argentina, the original region of the new masses of humanity who possesses ruddy or red pale skin with greenish blue eyes and long blonde hair, Argentina, Brazil, Peru, Colombia, and Venezuela, all of which comprise the springboard of the Roman nation of many nobles. Oops. Of many. And these are facts. And no one can deny nothing what we saying if we speak from scholarship. Islam?
Islam.
It's just facts, man. We can dilly around all our science and come back to the truth of the matter. When we talk about the crest of Asia, often referred to as the temple of the moon and the sun, all the signs and symbols which you should be familiar of, which scientifically imply the greatest inclination of the earth axis to the sun during the months of what? June, July, and August in the northern hemisphere. See, this is the stuff we study till we know how the world works. We know when to do certain things and how to conjure things up. This is a lifestyle. It's not a dress. It's not a fashion show. The outside just illuminate what's inside. What our forefathers were before this land of ours, namely a maximum, was named North, Central, and South America, we are that today, without a doubt of contradiction, namely Moor. The name Moor is derived from the name Moabite. It's in your biblical scriptures. There's no way to deny this. The Christ of Asia symbolizes the Great Pyramid, as shown on the reverse side of a United States $1 bill of 1928. These are facts. Names such as Negro, black, color, Indian, red, African, Jew, white are slave labels of the Roman cross order of segregation, hatred, slavery, and exploitation. We talk about the Reconstruction period of 1853 and 1865. It resulted in the United Order of the Christian organized labor, agriculture, industrial, and commercial unionism. All this stuff you can look up. I'm not coming to you from no biased place. Everything that I'm speaking can be researched. Everything. Because this is what resurrects us. This is what others use against you. The history of the Moorish nation, our forefathers, lies hidden in where? Every library of every state of the Union, and also in the library of every practical home of the European Americans, or the Albion, or the Troglodyte, whatever you want to connotate them. Referred to as white people. That's what they refer to. Therefore, the history of the Moorish Empire is not news to them, for they have been guided by this history of the Moors. I'm telling you, when I show you the Corsica flag, when I show you about the Ancient and Modern Britons by David McRitchie, I show you all this under the potent influence of fear and hatred during the past, when we talk about history in 1865. That's why we always say, give Caesar back what is his. It's impossible for people of heavy olive hue, commonly known as dark brown and light brown, to ever come in certain westernized, no disrespect to no one, European slavery thinking or the Christianized slavery thinking. Because of this fact, those thinkings worship someone outside of yourself as the Son of God. They don't even look at you as a different Mother of Mary, a whole different manifestation. And the image that you see of them is the image of themselves. That's supposed to be your so-called God. And that doesn't make any astrological or any common sense. Islam, this is no hate speech. This is common sense. If anybody read the text, you will get a clear understanding. The Greek, the Hebrew, and the Latin of the Roman cross order definitely cannot go beyond the Arabic alphabet. Our Moorish forefathers' code of alphabet and mathematics have proven that anybody outside of ourselves have no culture of their own. You can't get mad at that. That's proven history. We broke down the Moorish color code in electronics, which described the unit of resistance, the current and voltage, the magnetic law, the atomic energy. We broke that down already. 0 symbolized black, 1 symbolized brown, 2 symbolized red, 3 is orange, 4 is yellow, 5 is green, 6 is blue, 7 is violet, 8 is gray, 9 is light or white. See, we break all this scientific facts down, nobles. Islam, no one can go against this. No one can go against these mathematics. You can be mad. You can be mad. Isn't every child is born on the square, an angle of 90 degrees, 9 months from the conception to birth? Is that a fact? Yes or no? Huh?
Yeah.
See? See? You see what I'm saying? So if we know this, what's the confusion? The secret of the number 9 involving woman and child and the 12 signs of the zodiac is referred to as the rejected stone. Just like right now, the rejected stone is the chief cornerstone that's going to rebuild the world. The one that would reject it. It's talking about you and me. It's talking about the true adapts that's here to educate the world and your people first. Everyone have their own Messiah. You see? Mathematics and the zodiac. The earth axis to its orbit evolves about the sun at the rate of what? 1 degree per day, 30 degrees a month. Listen to this science. It completes its annual revolution of 360 degrees every year on March 20th in the 12th sign of Pisces. Thus the rays of the sun pass through 12 different regions of the earth called signs in the course of a year. So, when I break down signs and symbols on the cover of this Clock of Destiny Volume 1, you see the Son of God in the middle, or so-called Muhammad, with the astrological signs. You don't got no picture of no Messiah. A Messiah is a person clothed in the flesh. Understand that. Understand that. Woman, know yourself. Knowledge of the 12 signs of the zodiac involved in the woman. The child and the secret of the 9 is important as the letters of the alphabet, which qualify them to read and write. You must go through these teachings, man. At home, you must go through these teachings and go through your teachings. You cannot not be into your teachings. This is your willing sacrifice to go through this and then come back. Because as you reading and as you become familiar with things or unfamiliar with things, you should be able to come back and ask questions. Why? Because you're reading certain things that I'm telling you that you should read, that I'm suggesting, and you should get familiar with the Clock of Destiny. You should get familiar with Supreme Wisdom. These are the keys, so you can ask questions to build yourself up on the Supreme 9, so you can understand astrological signs, so you can understand not only yourself and your mate, and the different degrees and the different signs when you were born, when your mate was born. So you understand what science that the heart is under, what science the intestines under, what science the kidneys under. When you understand that your body is a physical manifestation. These are the keys. These are the keys. The knowledge of the zodiac involving women, children, the moon, the sun, the earth might therefore be termed the Clock of Destiny. the great span of one's active life lies between woman and earth, from birth to disintegration, or integration, referred to as death. All children come in the world by the way of the woman and pass out by the earth. We gotta agree on that, right, y'all?
Yeah.
What way do you come into the world but through the woman, Solomon? I don't know no other way you came into the world.
Through the womb.
You know?
Oh, man.
Man, listen, man, the woman who created those 5 sons, or those 5 destinies, those things educated, even if it was wrong. When we talk about dictatorship, when we talk about people with supreme power, where did the power come from? The womb. That's why what I tell Moors, one never know by being told. So take time out to figure it out for yourself. But when I say yourself, you got to break these things down. You are your what? Yourself. But yourself is a total makeup. A total makeup of individuals to do things synchronized, minutes, degrees, or meridians involving global geography, as shown in the 12 signs of the zodiac, from Aries to Pisces, which describe the measurement of time. See, Morris, when I speak like this is the stuff that saves you, where you can go into a whole nother manifestation and take anything, and take any parable, any analogy, and synchronize it, and break your life down to a mathematical equation. The Earth axis to its orbit rotates at the rate of 1 degree every 4 minutes, which equals a geographical span of 60 miles. 60 minutes, or 1 hour, equals 15 degrees, a geographical span of 900 miles. 120 minutes, or 2 hours, equals 30 degrees, a geographical span of 1,800 miles. Each sign of the zodiac from Aries to Pisces constitutes 30 degrees each. Follow the science. The sun remains in each sign of the zodiac a duration of what? 2 hours. 12 hours a day equals 180 degrees. And 12 hours a night also equals 180 degrees. Right? Right?
That's right.
Okay. So thus, a day and a night equals what? A day and a night equals what?
24 hours.
How? I just said 12 hours a day equals 180 degrees, and 12 hours a night also equals 180 degrees. So thus, there you go, Solomon. Slow down, and like I said, before we react, we must think. And see, there ain't nothing wrong with thinking, because you know the answer. That's why I say we don't react, we breathe. We think. You see, no? Because we know. Because we built on truth, and we sincere about everything. Could we be sincerely wrong if we don't do our research, but we still sincere? But we're going to always cross our T's and dot our I's. Islam? 12 hours a day equals 180 degrees, and 12 hours a night also equals 180 degrees. Thus, a day and night equals 360 degrees. Time changes every 15 degrees during the 24 hours of a day and night. 24 times 15 equals 360. The number 60 is the key to geography. Therefore, you are advised to always multiply degrees or meridians or geography by the figure 60 for accuracy. I'm telling y'all keys. 15 degrees times 60 equals what? 900 miles. I'm telling you what I know. The second motion of the earth in harmony with the sun rising in the north hemisphere and setting in the southern, which marks the month, the 4 seasons and years during its annual revolution of what? 360 degrees. Woo! The vernal equinox of the summer solstice, March 21st and June 21st. The Earth's axis to its orbit evolves about the sun at the rate of 1 degree per day, 30 degrees per month, 9 degrees in the course of 3 months, 120 degrees in the course of 4 months, 150 degrees in the course of 5 months, and 180 degrees in what? 180 degrees in the course of 6 months, which governs the spring and summer seasons on the Tropic of Cancer in the northern hemisphere. When we talk about signs and symbols, you must understand the signs and symbols. Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo govern the northern hemisphere. The top of the world, called the crest of Asia. 180 degrees on the equator, referred to the Oriental or the so-called East. In Islam, the order of the Asiatic nation. It's just what it is. The fall equinox and the winter solstice, September 23rd and December 21st. The Earth axis to its orbit in harmony with the sun. It crosses the equator in the seventh sign, which is Libra, on the Tropic of what? Capricorn, in the southern hemisphere, to complete the circle of what? 360 degrees completion. It ain't nothing but science. It's only two end poles. That's why the signs of Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces govern the southern hemisphere, called the trough, or the Europa, or the Occidental, or the Occidental, or the bottom of the world, referred to as the so-called West in Christianity, the order of the European nations.
Can you repeat that, what you just said?
Which one?
You said, which sign you said? Libra.
Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces. It governs the southern hemisphere, called the T-R-O-U-T-H, and the Europa, E-U-R-O-P-H, E-U-R-O-P-A. Or the bottom of the world, referred to as the West in Christianity, the order of the European nations. You can't be mad at what I'm saying. There are only two ends to a pole. Thus the pole is east, which is always up during the Earth annual revolution of 360 degrees. And the South Pole is always down during the Earth annual revolution of 360 degrees. All of which equals a geographical span of 21,600 miles. 360 degrees multiplied by 60 equals what? 21,600 miles. So 10,800 miles in the northern hemisphere, 180 degrees, and 10,800 miles in the southern hemisphere, 180 degrees. And then for accuracy, you got to multiply the degrees by 60, and you will get what I'm telling you. You can't deny mathematics. That's why on March 21st, the sun crosses the equator into the sign of Aries on the Tropic of Cancer in the northern hemisphere at the Sumatra, East India. On June 21st, the Earth axis has its greatest inclination to the sun at the right angle of 90 degrees, the first full moon after March 21st. And the Christian nations celebrate Easter, referred to as the Great Passover, 11 days after June 21st. The sun is the sign of Cancer, which cultivates 101 degrees nobles. And here the Christian order celebrates its day of independence, July 4th. So on September 23rd, the sun crosses the equator into the seventh sign, which is Libra nobles, on the Tropic of what? Capricorn, in the southern hemisphere, at that point in Brazil, nearly due to the northern of Obidos on the Amazon River. That's why September 26th, the founders of the Order of the Cross, or Christianity, celebrate their new year. And they are called the so-called Jews. And it was they who controlled the world commerce of the Roman order until 1941. See, I'm giving you history and religion and law all in one. Can't be mad at this. You can't be mad. Man, I can get deep with the science. I can go deep with the science. But I want you to be a student. We can go deep with the science. And when I say deep with the science, all the way. That's why the science of the 12 signs of the zodiac has proven that the sun shines equally upon the earth in the course of 12 months, which designates what? One world, one race. The human family is equally dependent upon the other for existence, progress, and the pursuit of happiness. You know, the science of the 12 signs of the zodiac has also proven that the philosophy of the Christ and the place called Palestine are together the greatest and most detrimental fallacy that the world has ever seen. I'm telling you, you can't be mad at me. Even the term Egypt implies productive soil in the northern hemisphere, especially the United States of America and Canada, the upper and lower Egypt. The misnomer white sons and daughters went to Egypt by the stroke of a pen. Egyptology is nothing real, y'all. That's why the headdress of the Moors, that's why the red fez with the symbol of the star and the crescent, or the moon without the symbol of the sword, is the headdress of the Moors in the hemisphere. The Moorish red, or the Moorish fez, excuse me, nobles, represents the supreme height of wisdom and the practical knowledge of the science of the 12 signs of the zodiac, the universal law and the constitution upon which civilization is founded, nobles. The red fez of the culture Moors is worn by, no disrespect to no one, the European, the white sons, and the Negro Masons, the wizards of the Order of Christ. It's just what it is. The red fez worn by these sons have the star and the crescent with the symbol of the sword on top, which represents the subjugation of the Moorish women. The subjugation of the Moorish women. The Christian Bible is the book of the dead image worship. You can't be mad at me. The term Mason implies master, mesen, M-E-S-S-E-N, or messenger, which simply means one who possesses scientific knowledge or wisdom of the works of nature as shown in the 12 signs of the zodiac. And such knowledge makes one conscious of the fact that his or her universal mind makes him or her free to propagate truth contrary to secrets, falsehood, and imperialism. Islam? And I'll leave y'all with this. This symbol that you see here, on the cover of Clock of Destiny 1, this is Clock of Destiny Volume 2. That same symbol is the same thing in a different manifestation. If you don't understand that, your eye is not open. Both of these are the same. And any adapt, you should be able to break both of those down to the manifestation, to what's above and what's below. That's in man. This symbol right here, what you're looking at right here, the Holy Quran, that's the real picture of Muhammad. Because Muslims have never painted the picture of Muhammad in the likeness of a son or a woman. And such paintings is of the Christian artists of deception. And having read the complete geography of the 12 signs of the zodiac nobles, this above symbols of the earth revolving about the sun gives you the tangible illustration of latitude north and south of the equator. The curved lines as shown leading from the North Pole to South Pole describe the hourly rotation of the earth, which measures the 24 hours of the day, and are referred to as longitude, east and west, or spring and fall Moors. The circle lines as shown connecting with the rays of the sun describe the months and the seasons of the years, and are referred to as latitude north and latitude south, summer and the winter, or north and south nobles. Look at this with your eye, with your vagina. And you know I'm giving you science. You know, that's the law of gravity. What's above is below. What goes up, what goes down. We must understand this and begin to resurrect our teachings. And I digress, nobles. Islam. And that's just that's the Clock of Destiny, nobles. That's the introduction. If you don't have it, nobles, study this. Study this with your Moorish Quran. Study this with your Silent Brotherhood of the East. Study these things together. They go together. I promise you, they go together. You don't have to finish nothing in a day. Just like when you open your Quran, open it up. Begin at the beginning. Take your time. Go through it. Go through a little chapter 1. Boom, boom, boom. Highlight it. Open up chapter 2. Boom, boom, boom. Synchronize your teachings. Go through both of them at the same time. That's the only way you're going to learn. And it'll start changing for you. I promise y'all. Any questions, nobles? But I give gratitude to all y'all, man. I know Malik and them missing. I don't know what they up to. They might be busy or whatever. But gratitude to everyone that's here. I got to get back, man. I got a lot of work that need to be done. So if everybody gonna work out, I'm gonna log out, and then whoever working out, I'll see y'all in workout. Islam, our Moorish American prayer, nobles.
Allah, Father universe, Father love, truth, peace, freedom, justice,